Good morning, everyone. My name is Julie. I am the owner and founder of Lady Faltai's Apothecary. We are here today to talk about the full moon, what sign it's in, tools to use, what's going on astrology-wise, ways that we can use this energy to benefit us, ways to maybe better prepare for the energies that are going to be around us, all sorts of good stuff. So before we get started, I do want to just pull a little sage leaf here off my bundle and light it, maybe. So just a little leaf. Don't need to light the whole bundle. All right, so just kind of help clear anything that we need to clear. Clear our minds. All right, I'm going to just put that over there to let that keep burning. All right, so we have a lot to talk about today, and so yeah, let's get right into it, okay? So typically right now, if you are on YouTube or Google or anything like that, it's going to tell you the full moon is in Pisces. It's not actually in Pisces. It's actually in Aquarius. So what has happened, and I've talked about this in other videos, but if you're new, I'll just go over it real quick, is thousands of years ago, they charted out where everything was supposed to be and when it was supposed to be there. And that's how we got all our zodiac signs and placements and all of those things. What has actually happened over the last couple of thousands of years is planets have shifted a little, or whatever, either in retrograde a little longer or not as long or whatever. And so the planets aren't exactly where we thought they were going to be when this was all charted out thousands of years ago. So you can go down a rabbit hole looking into all of that and finding out all that information. I'm just going to touch base on to why I'm saying full moon is in Aquarius. Because if you actually go by where the planets are aligned right now and where all the alignments are right now, it's actually in Aquarius, not in Pisces, okay? I just realized I had to run out and it's pouring here. And I was just like, oh, my sweater is all wet here. But anywho, going forward here, I'm already squirreling, already sidetracking myself here. We have too much to discuss today for me to be doing that. So it is also being called a blue moon. So if you don't know what a blue moon means, that basically just means that it is the second full moon in the same month. So we had a full moon back in August 1st. We had a full moon. So this is our second full moon in 1 month. That's why it's called a blue moon. I don't know who decided that. It wasn't me. I mean, blue's my favorite color, so I'm okay with it. But yeah, that sage is really going. All right. So if you've been watching these videos as well, as you know, I like to kind of pick a couple of things that really are kind of like the main focus of the full moon or the new moon or whatever it is that we're talking about. So and I'll go into why each of these things are things that I chose. But one is it's going to is realism. 2 is clearing, and 3 is resetting. So that's kind of the theme, and you can kind of see how it goes together, right? Realism, and then clearing, and then resetting. So, but we'll talk about all of those things here going forward. So, all right. So let's start out with some astrology. So usually in these videos, I do the first half of the video is about the astrology, and then the second half of the video is about all the different things that you can do during this full moon. Work with affirmations, tarots, archetype stones, herbs, oils, blah, blah, blah. So we'll get to that at the second part of the video. So, so astrology wise, the first thing is this full moon is aligned with Saturn. So it's a favorable line, favorable line. It's lined up favorably. It's good energy. Yeah, sometimes I have hard time with words. Hard time with words. Yeah, sometimes I can't speak English at all. Okay. So with this favorable alignment to Saturn, some of the things that you can expect from that. One is going to be taking responsibility. And so what that actually means is it doesn't mean you personally are going to be taking responsibility for something. It means that that is the energy that you're going to be feeling. You're feeling like you're going to want to be taking responsibility for something or for someone. It's not to point out that you did something and you need to take responsibility. It's that you're going to be feeling like you want to or you need to take responsibility for someone, a loved one, a friend, a pet, a situation, whatever it may be. There might be something that's coming up for you that you just feel the need to take responsibility for it. So the other thing that is going to be in this energy is caring for yourself. So I always tell people self-care is super important. And I know it's all the cliche little sayings, but you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So caring for yourself, caring for your well-being, caring for your emotional well-being are all things that are really going to be coming into play for this full moon. And we've talked about this again, but if you're new, the energies last about 2 weeks. So this full moon energy is going to last for about 2 weeks until we hit the new moon. And then that energy will last for about 2 weeks until we hit the next full moon, and so on and so forth. So, so aligned with Saturn. Yeah. So it's going to bring you some sensibility. So some reliability, maybe a little nostalgia. So all of that might be coming around for you as well. So again, sensibility and reliability is, going to kind of play into part with that taking responsibility and taking care of yourself as well, right? So sensible people know these things. So, and not that you don't know them, but sometimes we forget, or sometimes we are like, I know I have to do some self-care, but I have 300 things to do today. And so maybe next month I can do some self-care. No, we have to do self-care all the time. I know, it's hard. So, yeah, so where are we? Sorry, sometimes my notes are messy, and sometimes I can't read my own writing. So there could also be some strain on relationships, right? So again, you're feeling the need to take responsibility for things. So everybody else is feeling that same energy as well. And so sometimes that can, like, no, I'm gonna do it. And then somebody else is like, no, I'm gonna do it. And then there could be some conflict or some issues there, right? So just remember that everybody's feeling the same energy, and try to think about how you feel and what's going on, and then try to remember that other people are feeling similar things, not exactly the same, because everybody's placements are different, so their energies are going to be affected a little bit different. Morning, Kimberly. Thanks for joining. So we're just talking about the full moon, and right now we're talking about it's aligned with Saturn. and some of the things that are going to be coming along for the next couple of weeks. So yeah, so there could be some strain on some relationships. And again, that's due to wanting to take responsibility and wanting to take care of people. And sometimes that's not always received well, depending on, like I said, what their placements are, what their chart is. It could also bring some feeling of sadness. So the feeling of sadness is, kind of back when I said, you might be feeling a little nostalgic. So that could be contributing to that. The other thing that could be contributing to that feeling of sadness is right now we have, I've talked about that Mercury is in retrograde, and I've talked about that Uranus is in retrograde. But right now there's actually 6 planets in retrograde. So the other ones are, like I said, not so popular. For some reason, Mercury retrograde became very popular and everybody knows about it and everybody talks about it. But nobody really talks too much about the other planets that go retrograde as well, or when they go retrograde, or what they mean. I don't have time in this video to go over all of the planets and what they mean. So right now I did write down the ones that are in retrograde, and I do have videos that are older for some of them, but you can certainly do some of your own research as well. But so like I said, Mercury is in retrograde, Uranus is in retrograde, Saturn is in retrograde, Venus is in retrograde, Neptune and Pluto are all in retrograde right now. That is a lot of planets in retrograde at one time. I wanted to know the stats on that. That happens 0.7% of the time. So it's pretty rare that 6 planets are in retrograde at the same time. 5 is, 4, yeah, but and 3, 2, 1, 2, and 3 happen, pretty commonly. But when 6 planets are in retrograde, that is a pretty rare occurrence. So like I said, it's 0.7% of the time that happens. Like I said, we know that Mercury is all about communication. Uranus is about, these are just really quick, right? Really like not even touching the surface of it. But Uranus is about ideas. Saturn is about karma. Venus is about love. Neptune is about our consciousness. And Pluto is a little bit about ruthlessness. But so that's the retrograde real quick. Like I said, you could go down a rabbit hole on that as well, of learning all of those different things. I know I have a video on Mercury and Venus and Uranus, but I don't know. I don't think I have videos on the other ones, but if I can find them, I'll try to remember to put them in the comments. I know I say that sometimes and I'm not very good at it. So, but you can always just go through the videos that I have and find it if you are really interested in that. So anyway, nutshell of the 6 planets in retrograde. It's all about, like I said, this is like a really nutshell condensed version. It's all about clearing out, right? Every retrograde has a purpose. And so we don't always like how the effects are, or we don't always like what happens during retrograde, but it's one of those things that it's for our own good. If we look at the bigger picture of it, then it's easier to understand, easier to adapt, maybe to deal with the retrogrades and how they affect us. But really, they're all about clearing out, in a nutshell, like I said. So, excuse me, some of the things I wrote down, like I said, really quick, because, I could make this video a 10-hour video if I talked about all of it. But some of the things that the retrogrades are not responsible for, but good for, I don't know, again, English is hard sometimes. They're good for releasing. They're good for letting go, which is also really what full moons are about, right? They're about resting. They're about healing. They're about regenerating. They're about contemplating. They're about decluttering our lives. So again, we do look at the retrogrades and their effects. Sometimes they're not so pleasant, but when you see that their purpose, their outcome is really for our own good, it makes it a little bit easier, at least for me, to work through what is going on, the effects of what is going on. So, but anyway, all of those things, releasing, letting go, resting, healing, regenerating, all of that is really like the same of what a full moon is all about. So you can see where this is going to be like a super boost, right? So whatever it is that you need to be releasing, whatever it is you need to be letting go of, whatever you need to do to be healing, to regenerate, to declutter, all of those things, whatever it is that is for you personally that you need to be working on right now, this is the perfect time to do that. We're going to, like I said, realism. So it's all going to come forward for us. We're going to, like, our subconscious. So our Neptune is about our conscious. That's all going to come up, and we're going to see things, and we're going to be sensible about it, and we're going to take responsibility, and we're going to use that, and we're going to take care of ourselves and our emotional well-being. Oh my gosh. And we are going to clear it all out, and then we're going to reset. So moving on to sun is opposite the moon. This has been for a little while now. So this energy, you've heard me talk about this in the last couple of videos, but this is going to be making you feel the need to be home and family, which again is going to tie back to that Saturn of kind of taking responsibility for family and loved ones and things like that. So it's really good time for home, family, intimate relationships. All that energy should be fairly good. Again, just remember that, sometimes too much is too much. So there could be some possible conflicts there. And some of the things that are going to be conflicts might be internal for yourself, that home versus work kind of thing. Like, you really want to be home, but as adults and responsible people, we know we have to be at work. We have to make money. We have to have financial stability, and all of those things. So, there might be some inner conflict there of you wanting to be home, you wanting to be with family, you wanting to be with, your partner. And, we still have to, maintain our jobs. So there could be some internal conflict there. The want versus need kind of thing. So don't be surprised if, you're feeling some of that. Some of the other things that could come up are worry, and some low self-esteem. So, when those things happen, it's easier said than done. But like this morning and last night, I was worried about something, and it kind of bothered me all night. And I was up and for a part of the night thinking about things and trying to plan and trying to figure out what to do and what not to do. And this morning I just was like, you just have to trust that the universe has a purpose for this. Like, there's a reason. And not to just say, like, I'm going to be like, I don't care, whatever happens, happens, and I'm not going to try to be responsible or an adult. But I have to also kind of balance that with, okay, I have to be an adult and I have to be responsible, and I have to, deal with situations. There's things that are going to come up in life that we have to deal with. But if it doesn't come out the way I think it's going to come out, or that I, wanted it to come out, to understand that there is a higher purpose for all of it. So, and if that's not your belief, that's okay. But that helps me with that worry and things that come along, is to just kind of like take a breath and realize that I don't control everything. The universe doesn't revolve around me, but she has my back, so she's going to look out for me. So, some other things to talk about. Let's see here. I think I forgot to mention that Saturn energy is also going to bring some heightened intuition and some good judgment. So again, that kind of, I guess, that good judgment kind of falls in with that sensible and reliable kind of energy, I guess, that I talked about a little bit. But it will bring some heightened intuition for you. So that's nice. I always like that. The Aquarius part of the energy. Aquarius, they're interesting people. They're usually pretty friendly. They're polite. They're open-minded. They are very social aware. And I've talked about this before, but I will talk about it a little bit again, is we have moved into the age of Aquarius. And that I think is a super important time, astrological, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but Aquarius is all about the we. They are very social aware. They're very community aware. They're very, what's the word? I want humanitarian, but that's not quite the word I want, I think. But so we have been for a while now all about me. Me. What am I going to get? What do I want? What do I need? What do I deserve? You should do this for me. It's, everybody is out for themselves right now. If you've been on social media for more than 5 minutes, you know what I'm talking about. So Aquarius is going to start to move us out of that me and move us into that we. We are going to see a shift of people being more about community, more about family, more about helping others, and not so selfish. So, like I said, Aquarius are unselfish, friendly, polite, open-minded, social awareness. With a kick for me, a bonus for me is they are also highly intuitive people. So, one of my favorite words, intuitive. So all of that is going to be energy that's going to be surrounding this full moon as well. And then when you tie that into the Saturn energy of taking care of loved ones and taking care of yourself, um, and taking care of yourself, a note on that. Like I was talking about the me. Self-care is not about me. Self-care is about making sure that you're in a good place, making sure you're balanced, making sure your needs are met. But it's not about give everything to me, give it all to me. It's all about me. It's about making sure you're in a good, safe place, a healthy place, to continue on, that you're rested, that you're nourished, that you're emotionally well, so that you can go about your life and do the things you need to do and take care of people you need to take care of and go to work and all the muggle mundane things and still be in a good place. So that's not taking care of yourself, and self-care is not selfish. That has been one of those things, again, that is other people have put that on us, right? Because if we're taking care of us, we're not taking care of them. But really, we need to take care of us to take care of them. So anyway, that's another rabbit hole I could go down. So Aquarius energy should be positive, should be highly intuitive. Anything that's coming along for you over the next few weeks, trust your intuition on problem solving, what you need to do. People will message me or or talk to me and be like, well, this happened, and I'm thinking I should do this, but I don't really know. What do you think? And 99% of the time, I tell them, you already know what you're supposed to do. You just want me to tell you it's okay. You want me to tell you that, yeah, do that. But trust your own intuition on what you should be doing, or what needs to be done. Let's see here. Also, Aquarius, there's always the flip side, right? Aquarius can be a little stubborn as well. So they can be a little set in their ways. Not set in their ways, but when they get something they want to do and something's in their way, they can be very stubborn about, no, this needs to get through, which can be, again, used in a positive way. So it's not something that something blocks your path and you're just like, oh, well, I guess I can't do that. That stubbornness is going to help push you through a little bit and keep you going. So sometimes, again, all in balance, things can be good for you. But it can, on the extreme, cause some erratic behavior. So just be aware of that, okay? Um, so yeah, really, the nutshell, again, I've used that phrase a couple times today. Why is that? I don't know. I guess it's stuck in my head for something. Is learning from our mistakes, right? So that realism part of it, of us being realistic with ourselves. It's not an energy of hidden things coming to light kind of thing. It's just being realistic with ourselves, just being like um, honest with ourselves, and really just kind of, again, taking that responsibility, right? So learning from our mistakes, reprogramming ourselves. So doing that is all about that clearing, letting go, decluttering, um, all of those words that, I've already said. Um, but really letting go of any guilt or any regret. So, again, everybody's got their own baggage, everybody's got their own thing. And so I can't specifically say it's about letting go of regret. I don't know if it's about letting go of regret for you. But I don't know many people that don't have some sort of regret or some sort of guilt. Um, and I find, again, a good percentage of the time, people feeling guilty for something that either they didn't do, they had no control over, that they didn't have any responsibility for it. But anyway, again, another rabbit hole. So that reprogramming, letting go of all that stuff, letting go of guilt, letting go of regret, letting go of anything in the past that is not serving us anymore. Just let it go, right? So for right now, for today, we're going to basically draw a line, right? We're going to draw a nice big line, and anything that's behind us, maybe we'll draw the line this way. How's that? Draw a line. And anything that's behind us, anything that happened yesterday or back, we're going to let it go. If it's involving guilt, regret, anything like that, anything that's holding us back, we're going to let that go, and we're going to start fresh from today and go forward and be positive and be about the collective and be what we're supposed to really be in life. So reprogramming. So that line is part of that reprogramming, right? So letting go of everything. We've been realistic with ourselves. We're going to let go of what's not serving us anymore, guilt and regret and sadness and low self-esteem or anger, sadness, grief, um, all of those things, right? They have a purpose, but we don't need to hold on to them. So we're going to let them go. And then after we've reprogrammed ourselves, we're going to framework, right? So that's that going forward. So we're going to framework. We're going to build what we want our future to look like. We're going to set our expectations of what we want to be doing and where we want to be going and what that might be looking like for us. So, so again, realism, clear, and reset is kind of the theme words that I picked, right? So again, learning from mistakes, reprogramming, and frameworking, or reframeworking maybe. So, all right. If anybody has any questions about that, anything I said about that, or wanting to add their own insight on it, that's more than welcome. We're going to shift over now. Again, I got a mouse in my pocket, I guess. I'm going to shift over to talking about some of the things that you can do during, I turned the heat on because it was raining and I was wet and cold, and now it's too warm with my sweater. So, all right. So we're going to switch over talking about things, like I said, you can work with during ritual. I am not going to perform ritual during this video. There are literally a bazillion videos out there on YouTube, Zoom. I don't even know how many, like there's a bazillion things out there where you can go find ritual if you want. And so I don't feel the need to add another video to that. What I'm going to talk about is things that you can use if you want to just do a nice quiet ritual on your own, or maybe with a small group of friends, with your family, whatever that looks like for you. So these are just some suggestions of things, like I said, that you can work with. But always, always trust your own intuition. And if I make a recommendation for something and your intuition is telling you that's not what you're supposed to be doing, always follow your intuition. And again, people will message me or ask me, I don't have this stone, but I have this stone. And it's like, if you're asking, you already know the answer. But anywho, suggestions to start with. Affirmation. And again, I'm going to type it in the chat. And it's not because I don't think you guys can't understand English or write things down. But if you don't have something handy to write it down with and you want to get it, this way you don't have to go back and watch the whole video. It's just in the confirmation. Yeah, it's in the comments about the affirmations. Telling you, English is hard. Making sure I'm spelling everything right. It's a simple one. I am constantly evolving. It's true. We are evolving every day, all day, constantly. And hopefully for the best. I think if you're watching my videos, you kind of know that I'm about positivity and about growth and about where you want to be and being your authentic self. So if that doesn't align with you, you're probably not watching my videos. So, but we are constantly evolving. And again, so when you go back to what we just talked about with learning from our mistakes, being realistic with ourselves, clearing, reprogramming, resetting, reframeworking, all of those things. Like I do this stuff every new moon, every full moon, every day in between. Sometimes it takes me a while to catch on. Like we're all human. None of us are perfect. We are going to still make mistakes. But the thing is to learn from them and move forward as a better person, or situations that happen, again, about not making it all about us and seeing the bigger picture about things. We are constantly evolving. And if you want to add for the better good, or for my own good, or for the good of the universe, for the good of all, like however you want to change that up is perfectly fine. But if you just want a super easy one, I am constantly evolving. And affirmations are a great way to constantly be reminding ourselves of these things. They're super easy to work with. I do mine sometimes, like I'll put a sticky note on the bathroom mirror. So when I'm brushing my teeth, putting on my makeup, brushing my hair, whatever, I can say these either if you're brushing your teeth in your head, but either in your head or out loud. They're great to say when you're doing mundane things that you have to do anyway. Making supper, making supper, stirring your coffee, taking a shower, changing the laundry, all the things that we have to do in our day. That we kind of do with no brain power, right? Like changing the laundry is not complicated. Most of us don't even think about what we're actually doing. And so those are all great times to say affirmations. You don't need to really focus and concentrate too much when you're washing your hair. You could say your affirmations a couple of times while you're doing those things. And like I said, they're really great ways to just keep us I don't want to say in line, but on the path. That's not the word I want either. Moving forward, I guess. I don't know. Again, English is hard. Just keep us, pushing forward and going in the right direction. So the next thing is our tarot cards. I do not have the traditional tarot card deck. The one I have is a little different. I love the images. They're a little on the darker side, but I find their imagery very beautiful. And so the card that aligns with Aquarius is the Star card. So Aquarius is one of those things where it's always the anomaly, right? There's always something that's a little different or a little not like the rest. So Aries, Aquarius is a air sign. And I think in a couple of videos ago, I said it was a water sign. And that's because it's one of those ones that is actually kind of has two elements to it, right? So it is, as far as the signs go, there's earth, air, water, and fire. It is an air sign, but it's Aquarius, right? It's water. I mean, the Aquarius symbol is water. So it's one of those weird ones that has basically two elements tied to it. And I'm pretty sure it's the only one. I could be wrong, but I think it's the only zodiac sign that basically has two elements tied to it. Like I said, traditionally, technically, it's an air sign, but it's represented by water. I didn't make them up. I don't know who did. So it is about, the Star card is about emotion. So we've been talking about emotional well-being, but it's also about stability. And again, we talked about that a little bit as well. So going back, let me see where it was. Somewhere it was in here. I don't remember where now. Somewhere we talked about it. Can't find it here in my notes now, but I don't know. I can't find it in my notes. I don't know. My notes are very messy. I apologize. I always go into this with the intention that I'm going to write them so much neater and so much better, and then I don't. Because there's always more I want to write, and I run out of room. So then I'm scribbling things on the side, and yeah. So it's about balance. It's about stability. It's about emotion. And you can see here, she's pouring the water, and then we have our air, our sky element here as well. So about the balance of it. So, and the Star card, I was going to say in a nutshell. Why do I keep saying that? Um, the nutshell. Yeah, the star card is a representation of achieving your goals. Maybe it was not enough coffee. Maybe it was too much coffee. I don't know why I'm like this. Moving over to archetypes. The one I picked is the reformer. I'd never heard that as an archetype before, so I learned something new today. But it really does, when I learned about it, it really does tie into the Aquarius energy. It's about thinking outside the box. It's about being a little bit eccentric, about being innovative, and a unique perspective. And those are all things that perfectly describe Aquarius. So the reformer, and in today's conversation, today's video, we're going to think of the reformer as, again, kind of about that reprogramming and reframeworking. So tying that all in there about, again, clearing, being realistic, letting go of the past, clearing, resetting, all the things I've said a million times already, but you get the point. So if you wanted to Google that, I'll just do it here real quick. What I do is I just go to Google and I hit reformer archetype, go. I click images, and then I usually get a bunch of nonsense stuff. And I just scroll through until I find an image. Yeah, it was a good image, but it has that grayscale thing in the back. I didn't like that. So I'm not really finding anything. Sometimes I have to scroll quite a ways. Show more. Well, that's not it, but there's a cute little kid here wearing sunglasses. Yeah, for some reason it's giving me the outlaw. I don't want the outlaw. But anyway, you guys get the point. So this kind of just, so just scroll through until you find something that resonates with you. And then what I usually do is just put it on my phone as a screensaver, or the lock screen, or the home screen, or whatever. The other things you can do with it, again, I've talked about these a million times. Print it out on a piece of paper. Go to the dollar store and get a frame, and decorate it to be yours. So for me, it would probably be black with some sort of maybe twine or tweed, burlap kind of. It'd be very earthy looking, very organic looking. Maybe yours is purple and pink rainbow glitter kitty cat. I don't know. That's not me, but make it personal to you. Something that is going to be something that you want to work with, and change out that picture like every new moon or every full moon. Just print the picture and work with it that way. Like I said, there's lots of ways you can work with imagery. Nowadays, we have so many things at our fingertips for that. So, and it's, super inexpensive to work with it that way. So, all right, moving over to stones. I picked some good ones, I think. So the first one I picked is amethyst. I tried to actually be prepared for this video. I still sometimes am not, but so I picked some amethyst. So here's a piece of amethyst. And I got a little card here for amethyst, which I will read really quick, but I can't with my glasses on. So Known for healing powers, amethyst has the ability to attract spiritual energies and to calm restless thoughts because it provides peace of mind. It is a good stone for meditation and promoting sweet dreams. It is said that it has a sobering effect and prevents overindulgence. Blah, blah, blah. It's really good. Basically, what it said is the calming restless thoughts. It's good for that. It's good for connection to source. It is about our crown chakra, our connection to the divine. And it's also really good for maintaining control. So if you wanted to work with some amethyst, there you go. The next one I picked is labradorite. This is one of my favorites. I probably have about 300 favorites. Sorry. But labradorite is one of my favorites. This is a little piece and it doesn't really show very well, but it's kind of got a metallic-y, glittery. Can you kind of see that there? It's a really neat stone. And some of it's, I'm trying to catch some here. See how it has that little glimmery? There's a little bit of a rainbow piece there. See that? See how the rainbow comes in? Anyway, labradorite. If you want to work with some labradorite. Labradorite reveals the truth. So again, not necessarily that the energies of this particular full moon are about revealing the truth, but again, it's more about being learning from our mistakes, being realistic, and things like that. It's also prompts transformation. So that is something that we are looking for, is some transformation, right? That I am constantly evolving. And allows one to perceive things beyond the physical plane, strengthens your intuition. So we've talked about intuition. Pretty much we're going to always talk about intuition. Also really good for heightening your psychic abilities. So if you have any of those, I say if you have any of those, again, going down a rabbit hole here, everybody has something. I'm going to even change that. Everybody has everything. Some of us are just more naturally gifted at things than others. We all have the ability to pick up on other people's emotions, other people's energies. You guys know that as an empath. Some people pick up on it super easy. Some people pick up on it when they don't even want to. Some people pick up on it when they're not even near people. But we all have that ability to walk into a room and kind of be like, oh, something's going on here. I'm going to go, without being labeled an empath. People tell me all the time, I'm an empath. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's not one of my stronger, like we all are empaths. Everybody is an empath, but it's not one of my stronger suits. It's not one of the things that I would necessarily label myself as. But we all have the ability for psychic abilities. Some of us are just more naturally gifted at that than others. So anyway, yeah, intuition, transformation, truth. Yeah, so there you go. You could work with some labradorite. And then the last one, I picked one different. I wanted, I'm trying really hard to like branch out and talk about things we haven't talked about before, and be educational as well as helpful. I picked some desert rose. Now, I don't know how well you guys can see that, how well the camera picks up on it. I would think this would be more like something that you would see at the beach, like a shell thing, but desert rose. I actually think they're really cool. So anyway, stone of the mind promotes intuitive perception. So again, more about our intuitiveness. Mental ability and clarity. So again, bringing some of that clarity, some of that realism. Calms worries. So we talked about that earlier, that we might be feeling some worry. Might help with distractions and disruptions. So again, pushing through obstacles that are there. Clarifies thinking and perception, and can be used to relieve stress and enhance willpower. So, again, we talked about maybe having low self-esteem. So maybe helping with some of that, some stress, some worry, all of those things. So you could work with some desert rose. All right. So those are our stones for this time. So the next part we're going to talk about is I group them together, herbs/oils, because honestly, however you work with them is perfectly fine. If you have them all in oil, great. If you have them all in herb, great. If you have some herb, some oil, great. Doesn't really matter. The essence of the plant is still there, no matter how you work with it. Whether you drink it as a tea, whether you make a tincture, whether you make it an incense, whether you put it in your bath water, whatever you do with it, you're working with the plant essence. So, however is fine. You don't need to worry about, I have 2 herbs and 1 oil. What do I do? It's fine. You can still work with them. It's not going to make any difference. So, and again, I tried to be prepared. So I tried to have a book out and be able to at least show you a picture. So the first one I picked is eucalyptus. And again, kind of one track mind here on this today, I guess. But eucalyptus is really going to help with boosting your intuition. And so this is a book I use a lot when I work with plants and things like that. So there's what it kind of looks like, but this is where it comes from. So big eucalyptus tree. And this is more of a close-up of the leaves and the flowers. I have dried eucalyptus here. And again, I use it in all of those things I said. I use it in a tea. I use it in tinctures. I use it as incense. I use it in bath water. Not so much the bath water because honestly, the truth is my bathtub is small and it's not really comfortable or relaxing to take a hot bath in there. But if I need to for a physical reason, I can. It's a bathtub. I can use it and take a bath in it and put things in it. A lot of times I have Epsom salts and herbs and oils and whatnot, but it's not super comfortable and relaxing. Someday I'm going to have myself a big, big tub that is going to be amazing and awesome, and I'm going to love it, but not right now. The next one I picked is chamomile. And you guys are probably all pretty familiar with chamomile. Chamomile, you can go buy chamomile tea in the grocery store. This is one of those things, though, I recommend. Don't just buy the cheap chamomile tea. Go to, like I said, you can buy it in pretty much any grocery store, but go to an organic food store. Like locally here, we have the Root Cellar, which has local things that are organic. So try to get really good chamomile tea, because in the cheap ones, the tea bags use a lot of glue and things in it that you don't really want seeping in your tea. So if you have chamomile that you buy, and then you can either get one of those tea balls, or I use biodegradable paper tea bags that can go right in my compost. So just be aware of that when you're drinking teas, that, yes, you can buy them fairly inexpensive, but just be aware that when you buy the cheaper, inexpensive ones, that you might not be getting things that you actually want in your tea. So again, chamomile looks like that. Probably everybody's pretty familiar with what it looks like. Again, there's usually like a little drawing of it. This book is really great. It tells me where it grows, tells me what part of the plant to use, tells me when to harvest it, tells me all about the traditions of it, tells me, you know, the history of it. I love this book. And then it always has, not on this one, but let's see here if I can find one real quick. Right here. So if there's something that you need to be really aware of, there's always this box at the bottom, which will tell you. So that is, sorry, that is the eucalyptus. So what does it say? I'll just read it for you. So basically, it's just saying the essential oil of eucalyptus should not be applied to the skin directly, which we should all know that, right? Essential oils don't go on your skin directly. They need a carrier oil or cream or something. You don't just put essential oils on your skin directly. It will most likely cause irritation. It will most definitely cause irritation. All right, so that book sits right there on my desk. It's there all the time because I use it. As you can see, there's a lot of tags in here, pages marked. I use it quite a bit for references. So, all right, the last one I picked wasn't in that book. But I did have a oracle deck that had a picture of it. So, the last one I picked is Dahlia. And so right here, and what is it? Refinement is what it says on the card. But Dahlia energy is for about setbacks. So pushing through anything that might be setting us back, obstacles in the road, things that are getting in our way. Dahlia energy helps us move through that, move forward. So, and again, the card probably isn't picking up super great here, but there you go. It's a little better. I like this deck. It has some weird things in it, but I do like it. I like the pictures on it. So, all right. So almost done here. One of the other things I like to work with is colors. It's a super easy way to work with different energies. And it's also really great for me anyway, visualizations. It's a great way to put color around my house that when I see them, I remember, oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be working on. Or, oh yeah, that's the energies that are what we're working with. Or this is the goal, whatever, however you want to tie it in. But they're just really great visual reminders for me of what I'm supposed to be kind of focusing on and working on and help keeping me on track for that stuff. So, and I think it's fun. I love to, for me, I have a huge bucket in the house of ribbon. I just went to the dollar store and bought I didn't buy like prints and designs and stuff, but I just tried to buy a wide variety of colored ribbons in different thicknesses. And I tie them all over my house. I have lanterns, I have vases, I have a broom on my back door. That are all easy, super easy ways to just untie the ribbon and put a new ribbon on to work with the colors. The other thing is buying at the dollar store again is just the placemats. You don't need to buy 4, just go buy 1. So like a blue, a red, an orange, a green, a yellow, like the basic colors. And that way you could maybe make like a little mini altar kind of thing. Like you could on your kitchen table or on your counter, you could bring out the placemat of the color that you're working with. Maybe put a colored candle there, put your stones there. If you have like a card, maybe I could put the card of the picture of the dahlia there and make just like a little evolving working altar kind of little space that again is really great visualization for what it is that you are working with, working on, working through, working for, whatever, for you individually. So, so the colors for this particular full moon, I picked blue, which is going to help it is a watercolor. So again, you tied in that water element there. And water is all about our intuition. So if you have anything you want to do with your intuition, work with water element things. So, so blue is really good for your confidence. So we talked a little bit about maybe having a little bit of low self-esteem. So we could use some blue to help boost our confidence. Turquoise is for some tranquility. And again, it's also kind of a watercolor. Tranquility to help maybe with that worry or stress that we might be feeling. So helping bring in some tranquility, some calmness. And then violet for inspiration. So again, all the things that we want to be moving forward towards. So, and you could take the three colored ribbons and tie a bow together. So all of them are there. You could buy different kinds of candles, different shapes, sizes, things like that. Make a little spot. Maybe this afternoon, if I have time, I will set one up and post a picture of it in my Facebook group page, which is Lady Fall Ties Light Healers. So I will try to find some time this afternoon to basically set up a little one on my kitchen counter and kind of show you like the different things that, like how you can make one to represent what you're working for the full moon, or if it's the new moon. Almost done here. The next thing is journal prompt. So again, I'm going to put that in here. And again, not because I don't think you can't write it down or understand English, although sometimes I don't speak English so well. So all right. How can you be your unique self during times of conflict? So this we talked about too, that there may be some conflict coming depending on different situations and where placements are and how energies are affecting you and things. Some of those conflicts may be internal. Some of them may be with family members or partners, work relationship versus home relationships, things of that sort, might be coming up. And so how can you be your unique self during times of conflict? In a positive way, I didn't put that in there, but I guess that should be implied, right? In a positive way. I have Aries as my rising sign, and so I can be pretty bold and aggressive and confrontational during times of conflict, especially if I'm feeling like it's an attack on me, which usually it's not, but sometimes, I internalize that. And so again, knowing those things and knowing those are parts of me, they're not excuses for it to be okay for me to do that, but they're also a way for me to understand why I am the way I am and maybe how I can grow and be better at that, right? So, and I have an issue with my throat chakra for communication. Yeah. So, but again, being aware of that, right? That being realistic, being aware, being open to that, and knowing that, then I can, try to reprogram and reframework what's going to happen for me, how I'm going to act, how I'm going to respond to that, without not being unique. I don't want to be fake. I don't want to, when times of conflict, I don't want to just be submissive. I don't want to just be a people pleaser. I don't want to just be like, do whatever you want. I still want my input to be heard and my thoughts to be expressed, but in a way that is positive, but still still my own. So ramble there, but, and again, journal prompts, journal, oh, I think well, I didn't think I sneezed that hard. Journal prompts are all about free writing, not worrying about paragraphs, not worrying about structure of the sentence, not worrying about capitalization, all of that. Like, don't worry about that. Just write as fast as you can think. And whatever you're thinking, write it down. And then after, if you want to go back and, basically grade your paper and fix any errors, that's perfectly fine. But the exercise of the journal prompt is to just let your brain work through it and write it down as fast as you can. And maybe it's just notes, maybe it's just individual words, maybe it's part sentences, maybe it's messy like mine and it's all over the place. That's okay. It's about getting it all down and then being able to go back and read it and go over it and kind of come to realizations that maybe you weren't aware of. So all right. So the last thing to finish up for today is our do-it-yourself project. So one of the things that I thought was really important about this full moon is, again, we know it's about releasing. We know it's about letting go of what no longer serves us, right? But sometimes to identify what's no longer serving us, we kind of need to know where we want to go. We need to know where it is we want to be. Like that whole, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right? So maybe you won't be aware of what is holding you back until you actually know where it is you want to go. So I thought it would be a really great time to do, I call it a dream board. You can call it a vision board. Whatever you want to label it as is fine. Maybe it's pictures from a magazine. Maybe it's things you cut out, words or pictures from magazines or books or newspapers or whatever. Maybe it's a picture of somebody that represents what you want. Like you want to be like that person, maybe a mentor. You could, again, kind of make this very, like, you could use the colors of the blue, turquoise, and violet to decorate it, or make it your own. That's perfectly fine too. Follow your intuition as always. Maybe it's writing words that are going to help you remember that. Maybe you just write releasing, resting, healing, regenerating, all the big words that I said today. Maybe you just cut those out of a magazine or write them in big letters on a board that you hang somewhere. Or it could be even a lot simpler than that. Maybe you take a whole packet of sticky notes and write all the things that you want in big letters on sticky notes and stick them all over your house. Who knows? Whatever it looks like for you is perfectly fine. If you don't want to make one particular dream board, then you can make it, again, your own. Do it however you want. If you've already done a dream board or a vision board, this would be a good time to go back to it and see if what you had on it is still what you want, right? Maybe you did your vision board last year, and with us always evolving and changing and growing and being better, maybe you'll go back to it and realize that maybe something on there that you wanted a year ago is not what you still want. And that's okay. There's a difference between evolving and changing and growing and letting something get in our way and giving up on it, right? So if you still want it and there's something blocking you, that's when we go back to what's blocking us, what's keeping us from that. What do we need to release? What do we need to let go? What do we need to reprogram? Like I said, go back to it. If you've already made one, go back to it and see if what's on there is still what you want. what's in your way of keeping you from getting those. Maybe that's not what you want to do anymore. Maybe a bonus, maybe you've achieved some of those things and you can take them down and add new things. So, just kind of refreshing it up, I guess. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for me for today. And if you have any questions, any comments, just, let me know. You can put them in the comments or you can private message me. That's fine. I don't mind either way. Sometimes people feel more comfortable private messaging me. But, really, there's no silly questions or comments. So, and if you've got it, probably somebody else does too. Or if I didn't make sense about something, let me know that as well. I will try to do my best to, clarify whatever I was trying to say. And again, like I said, if you have insight of your own that you want to add, I would love to hear it. If you make something, if you do a dream board, vision board, if you do a little mini altar space, if you, work with colors, some ribbons, feel free to go over to, like I said, the Facebook group, Lady Faltai's Light Healer, and share some pictures with that. I'm trying really hard to encourage people to do that because it's not only great for you, but it's really great for other people. It gives people the incentive to want to do that, the desire to want to do that for themselves, gives them some creative ideas on how maybe they could do that, similar things. So really inspiring each other to, do all the things that are going to help make us better people. So please do that. And like I said, I will try to make time today to do a little makeup area. It's not really an altar. I mean, I guess you could call it an altar. But I like just, like we all do, not maybe all of us, but most of us do some sort of like little centerpiece on our table or our kitchen counter. We pull out stuff for Halloween, Christmas, whatever holiday it is, Valentine's Day, and we make a little, centerpiece area for it. Valentine's Day, maybe you have a red little mat with pink and red flowers and little hearts and pink candles and stuff. That is what you're doing essentially, is making like a little visual reminder, right? So just think of that in terms of, the stones and the colors and the things. Maybe you go out and buy some chamomile flowers or some dahlia flowers and put them in a vase. There's just endless possibilities, and I'm going to rant forever if I don't end this video. So, but thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope something in here was helpful, meaningful to you. If you think somebody else would find it helpful, please either tag them or share. I don't know, can you actually tag people in YouTube? I never even tried that, but share with them. And again, just say hi. Let me know if something in here was helpful, so then I know that that information is good information and I can maybe, share more of that for you. Constructive criticism is always great to get. So, all right. So, as always, remember, be kind. Your kindness is not only going to improve somebody else's day, it could potentially change your day, and it could potentially change someone's life for the better. So, thanks for watching, guys. Love you. Bye.